Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa. We've got a great Domain Sherpa review coming up today. We've got Drew, Shane, and Josh on the show. And besides discussing whether tennis balls are actually yellow or green, we get into a ton of domain content, including playing the domain game, where the Sherpas guess the buy or sell price for superfi.com, Atlas.xyz, and Ladybug.eth. Then we get into the Namejet Gonna Jet segment, sponsored by Namejet. And we talk about some domains coming up for auction, such as liveclasses.com, molecularimaging.com, oceanography.com, adtools.com, and nd.org. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you could also watch the video version at DomainSherpa.com and also watch some of our episodes on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. You can also check us out on Apple, Spotify, and a bunch of the other podcasting platforms. And as usual, big shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains, with a special platform made for domain investors. And last but certainly not least, with NamesCon Global coming up in Austin, Texas at the end of August, we've got a promo code for our audience to save 20% on tickets. That code is M as in man, P as in Peter _Domain Sherpa. Again, MP _Domain Sherpa. And you can use that when you register at namescon.com. Although I will tell you that there are a few other promo codes floating around that could save you as much as 50% off on tickets. So definitely check that out and make sure you don't miss this event, because it's going to be a great one. So looking forward to that and excited to see everybody there. All right, with all that, it's time to get into this episode of Domain Sherpa Review here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. So let's go. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. J On, and I am the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Domain Sherpa review, where we get into the minds of successful domain investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become more successful domain name investors ourselves. These are the experts. There are 4 segments to the Domain Sherpa review. Number 1, we've got grand opening, where we intro the Sherpas, we see what's going on, and we kind of get onto some tangents, talk about related items, just see what's happening with everybody. 2, we get into the domain game, and that's where we hear what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Everybody guesses on the price. We keep score. We give out some merch swag to the winners. By the way, Shane, you've got a hoodie in the mail on the way. Josh, I've got one here at the crib to get to you whenever I see you in person next. Let's make that happen sooner than later. And, Drew is Drew's got access to all the merch he wants, so it's all good.
Yeah, it says you. I'm a dude sitting here with no merch.
Hey, man, you got a big old box in Rhode Island just sitting there, you know what I'm saying? Just like, your mom's ready. She's about to give it out to the neighborhood kids, you know what I mean? They're gonna be looking good. And then we got segment 3 is Namejet Gonna Jet, sponsored by our friends at Namejet, where we review a list of domains coming up for auction. We got a pretty interesting list today. It's about 18 names, so we'll see what the Sherpas like, what they don't like, and talk about all the good stuff in and around that. And then last but certainly not least, we've got grand closing. Actually, I'm going to say last and usually least, actually. I'm not going to say certainly not least, because grand closing is usually the quickest, weakest segment on the show as far as from a time standpoint, just because by the time we get there, we're like, yo, we got to go. But anyway, that's where we cover anything we haven't already discussed, stuff going on in the domain space, looking at market trends, current events, and allowing the guys to talk, or gals to talk, promote anything they want to talk about that we haven't already covered. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce the Sherpas. Over to my right, I got my boy Josh Reason, a.k.a. Bjorn Borg, a.k.a. Harry Kane, a.k.a. Triple Crown, a.k.a. Zed ain't just the way some people say Z. Bill and Zed's Excellent Adventure, Horse Stables, Not Stable Coins, and a.k.a. Yellowstone. What's up, man? What's happening?
Did you rehearse that one? I feel like that one was rehearsed.
That was pretty good, right? I was working on that this morning. Yellowstone is it's the show, man, on Paramount.
Dude, I love Yellowstone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ride a lot.
Rip's the man.
Oh, dude, Rip is that dude, man. I watched Yellowstone so much, I went and got a truck. I sold my Tesla, and I'm like, I got to go get a truck. I didn't get the Ram that they drive on the show. I got the Chevy, but the But I did. I switched up my whole life.
Better a Chevy than a Dodge, anyways.
We say around the house, we say, don't make me take you to the train station.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get the ride to the train station, baby. Well, I'll tell you too. The reason that I went Chevy is well, first of all, my uncle's a big Chevy guy, and we've always been more of a Chevy family. I can't remember the last time I've owned a Dodge or a Chrysler car, but we've had Tahoes and Yukons and and all that good stuff and GMC but when I went, it was, cars were very, hard to get, right? And when I ordered the thing, and I did test drive the Ram, I liked it, but they were trying to give me a market upcharge of like 10 grand. And I was like, so you're just adding 10 grand to the price just because you can? And they're like, well, yeah, it's how it is, And I was like, you know what? I will never buy a car from you because it's like, it won't always be like this. And I will never forget the fact that you literally just wanted to tack 10 G's on this thing on the price. Like, find and not negotiate.
In fact, it ain't like that anymore. In fact, they're probably like, hey, Mr. Jonathan, you still in the market for a truck?
Exactly.
We'll take 10 grand. We'll take 10 grand off that. We'll get rid of that fee and take 10 grand off the price.
Exactly. I'm like, no, I want a personal apology from Mr. Ram at my house. You know what I'm saying? I want to take Mr. Ram to the train station. But yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was also an interesting dynamic doing any car shopping during all of the, the crazy supply chain crunch stuff too, because, salespeople still had to make a living. They're still working. So, you'd be looking at a car, you'd put in the little, the request for information or whatever. And then they would just start inundating you with phone calls and texts and emails and all this stuff. So then you're like, you talk to them and you're like, all right, cool. Here's what I want. Oh yeah. I can't get you that. You know what I mean? But it's like, they keep like, but it's like, come on guys, you're killing me. You're wearing me out. We have the conversation and you can't help me anyway. Like, it's, there's a big old disconnect, but yeah, we are seeing that already start to even out, obviously with the, the economy where it is and stuff, but, it's a good buyer's market. You know what I'm saying? We are shifting into the buyer's market. Anyway, so that's what it is. So big shout out to Chevy, big, whatever the opposite of a shout out is to Dodge. And, and shout out to Yellowstone. You know what I'm saying? Have you, so if you're watching Yellowstone, what about the prequel? Anybody watching the prequel?
You still didn't finish your intros.
I'm going to get there. We're still on Josh, man. We're closing out on the Yellowstone. What about, anybody watching the prequel though?
Not yet.
All right.
No time.
Wait, the prequel to what?
There's a prequel to Yellowstone. It's like 1635 or no, like 1835.
That's the Columbus one. That's a prequel.
That's the Conquistador. Yeah, that's the prequel to the prequel.
You clearly are getting paid too much because we got way too much time, man.
Hey,
I mean,
man.
You watch I don't even know. You watch more of these series than I even knew existed.
Well, for what it's worth, I was way behind on a lot of TV, but then I got COVID. My whole family got COVID. So we got caught up on everything. You know what I mean? So we've been talking about The Boys, which is crazy if anybody's watching that. I got caught up on Ozark, Better Call Saul. I mean, the kids and I, we watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki. I mean, we done did it all. This is the summer of TV, the summer of COVID and TV for us. So anyway, all right. Well, look, that'll be a tangent that we could stay on for a long, long time. So let me keep it moving. Lower right, we got the man, the myth himself, Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Dirk Diggler Digital Assets, a.k.a. Drew got what I need, a.k.a. every Rosner has its thorn, a.k.a. never gonna give Drew up, never gonna. I don't know. We're gonna Rickroll on this piece. Anyway, that's the thing with you guys, man. Y'all are on the show so much. It's like I just keep adding to the list. My AKA sheet is getting crazy. Anyway, what up, Drew? What's happening, man? So you're not watching any TV? No TV in Portugal?
Man, who's got time for TV when you're selling millions of dollars in domain names? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
I'm trying to understand macroeconomics, politics. World is melting. Like. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to go watch some people.
And his partner is watching TV the whole time, so he's got to double up on the work.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be the one with all this free time watching television.
He's like, what do you mean partner? What do you mean partner? But It's all good. Look, man, like I said, we caught up on a lot of stuff, and Drew spends his time. He's doing other things, man. He's on catamarans in the Aegean Sea, and he's got but yeah, things are a little crazy. Things are crazy right now. But let's not get into the macroeconomic conversation unless we're gonna really dive into that. But let's just keep it moving. We're gonna talk domains. This is a show today for the domain maxis, the .com maxis. We did the ENS show. As I segue into Shane, we did the ENS show with Daniel Got Hits. Which was a lot of fun. A lot of reaction to that show, which I thought was great. We expected that people were really going to be interested in a lot of what we were talking about there, and pretty cool. But I got some comments on that here in a second. But let me go ahead. Below me, we got my boy Shane Culture, aka Sugar Shane, aka Honey Shane, aka Mike Rowe. I mean, you look like Mike Rowe today, dog. With the you sitting on the crane, you got muddy boots and all that, and aka Blame It on the Shane, aka House of Shane, aka the Culture Personality, aka Culture Club. What's going on, man? How you doing?
You forgot doing it for the culture.
Oh, aka doing it for the culture.
I like that
for the culture, aka.
Yeah,
I'm putting it.
That's what I tweeted one time. I'm like, I'm not doing it for the culture. I'm doing it for the culture. That's what I'm leaning toward.
Doing it for the cultures, plural, right?
I like that, man. I'm with it. I am with it.
For the cultures. Well, look, man. So it's so part of this boot camp thing that I do. We get out in 5:30, 6 o'clock in the mornings. Mornings and do a little boot camp stuff. It's this group called F3. And it's fitness, faith, fellowship. It's really non-denominational. It's not like on the the religious piece, but there's a book and a whole thing, and it's nationwide and it's free, and it's just a bunch of dudes getting together, just kind of break a sweat. The idea of improving yourself so that you can better support the folks around you, and it's like sort of this sort of circle, sort of sort of outward effect of it starts with yourself, and then. And then it's your family and it's your friends, and then it's your environment, your community, and then it's the larger, the world at large. You know what I mean? And,
let me know when you get out to that outer circle that includes me and my business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, look, man, it's all good. We're doing good, man. The numbers are good. The numbers are good. Come on, man. Hey, you can ask. I haven't been out there very often. Usually I'm like, hey, I'd be out there, but I got to work. I got to work this morning so I can watch TV tonight. You know what I mean? But but I think it's important. It is the idea of look, you got to take care of yourself. It's the plane, the masks thing in the plane, right? Put it on yourself before you put it on your kids. It's like you got to take care, and then you can kind of extend out your circle. And then as you solve the problems closer to you, you realize you care more about the problems at large, right? If you're focused on just trying to how to eat and put food on the table, then you're going to care less about climate change. You know what I mean? And I think we're seeing that now, even where as the world is getting crazier with a lot of these things, we've seen decisions that have been made, the ENS stuff like that, regarding energy policy to kind of cure big world problems. But
ESG.
I'm sorry,
not ENS.
Sorry, yeah, I got ENS. I got ENS on the brain. But the ESG, you end up with now shorter term, sort of bigger problems. Now you're going to lead to, economic issues that could lead to, calamities and huge. So anyway, but I said we weren't going to get on the big economic thing. Speaking of ENS, that's a good segue. It was a great show. I thought the feedback was interesting. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like the hyphenates, man, the hyphen people are a little bit heated right now. You know what I'm saying? I saw that.
Well, this is the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, it starts with a good idea, which was, the 999 Club. And I think that that's a good idea. You got 1,000, 3number.com, 3number.ens .eth domains. And, there's something to be said for that, right? If there's demand for it, then I think we discussed it in the show. It's like, that makes a good wallet address. Nobody's going to fuck that up. There's a little bit of flex in that if there's demand for it, which clearly there is if these things are trading for 20, 30, 40 ETH. But then once those are gone, it's like what you realize is that everybody's only in this shit for speculation, right? It's like, people will play all day playing intellectual masturbation, trying to come up with the reasons why this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But the reality is y'all just in this shit for speculation. Just be honest with yourself so you can make intelligent decisions. And then what is not an intelligent decision is extrapolating that, all the 3number.coms are gone and there's 1,000 of them motherfuckers. Well, guess what? There's only 26 letter dash same letter dot eth. Yo, there's only 26 of them shits. Yo, that's worth like 300 times more than a 3-number dot eth because there's 300 less of them. I was like, no, step off the cliff. You're throwing your money in the toilet. Just because the 3-number dot eth domain has value and there's demands for it doesn't mean the 4 numbers are, or the 5 numbers, or the 6 numbers, or the hyphens, or anything else for that matter. In fact, if y'all keep extrapolating out, there might not be any value in the 3-number dot eth either, right? And it's like people just don't get that shit. It's like,
just because the hyphenates, man, the hyphenates are mad.
You can go one level up. You can go one level up and be like, .com was great, but all the motherfuckers got the .coms, and I want a piece. So I'm gonna go get my .io and my .co and my
or even worse, the .clubs. Like, remember the .club wave on Clubhouse?
It's the same thing, and it's like
they were
all
mad.
of us who have been in this game. It's like we were on that Clubhouse when all these .club motherfuckers were assaulting me, and it was like, yo, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. .club is the shit. And it's like, no, you are a stupid, ignorant, speculative individual. And I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you overcome your stupidity and your ignorance by explaining to you that you don't give a shit about .club, nor should you. And the only reason you're on this damn call is for speculative purposes because you missed out on .com and you think that you're going to catch that next wave, but that next wave ain't going to come. And if it does, it's going to slam you headfirst into the beach.
Oh, yo. Drew is...
Can you snippet that out as a preview?
I think that might be the lead-in for... that might be the snippet for today's show. Billy, man, make that happen. But I think, look, telling some truth and giving people a little bit of tough love, I think is necessary, especially in these, in these markets where people are trying to base things on stuff that's really just not realistic, right? Or
Fugazi.
Not facts, or ignore, again, it's this whole idea of history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And we've seen a lot of these movies before. And I was
just told today something great, which I've heard before, but it was a great reminder. And it was along the lines of the history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. The only thing that we actually learn from history is that we as human beings never learn from history.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. It's kind of tighten it up a little bit, but I think the premise is really the only thing we learn from history is we don't learn nothing from history. I don't know. But I think that's a good point. And and I would agree. I think the 1,000. I like the 999 Club a lot. I actually think it's even kind of cooler that the number of the names is 1,000.
Me too. I love that.
I like that part about it. I think that
it irritates people.
Yeah, there's a vibe.
And I don't even own one. I don't even have I'm not part of the 999 Club. But I do think it's dope. I'm a little bit envious. I'm not willing to pony up 30 ETH for it, but I'm envious. I like it.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan. I think it's cool, and and I think, look, like we talked on in the show. I mean, speculative, yes, but the community aspects and most importantly, utility is a key aspect to it. So it's like if there is real utility there, then that begets value, but people have to be able to understand the difference, and
Daniel's really good about being excited, which we all
100%.
love to see that excitement, but at the same time being real, where like he was saying, I don't want to push this on anybody. That's a realm that we've maybe way too speculative, so I don't want people to think that that's where they need to head. So I really liked his free roaming with a little bit of fence at the edge.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really good. Look, and I thought it was really cool the way he even said that he had registered a couple of those like flag ones or whatever and gave them back or whatever he did, which I thought was like, wow. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen that in any of these digital asset spaces where somebody's like, hey, I'm influencing people to do something, so I'm actually going to scale this back a bit and sort of and give up potential, dollars or value or ETH or what have you for, the sake of just trying to kind of keep it real with my community, which I thought was really cool. Good dude, smart guy, man. Definitely he reminds me of a young Shane culture. You know what I'm saying? Or is it Crane culture today? You know what I'm saying? Right? Am I right?
I used to hold the, in 1981, I used to hold the juggling the Carolina Lightning soccer team halftime juggling contest record for 30 minutes straight.
No way.
Damn.
Why didn't you tell?
Yeah,
You should have flexed on him.
I had
him.
Like the 2000, no, the 1997, probably about 96, 97, X Games, Marine Corps,
pull-up record. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I also got some, I don't remember where it was. I got some bingo, not bingo. What do you call that? The bouncy thing.
Ball?
No. Pogo stick. Yeah, I got a pogo stick record way back in the day.
That's crazy. Meanwhile, Josh is sitting back. He's like, "Look, I was a D1 athlete, so y'all can talk about your little
Thinking,
you did some pull-ups."
You guys should put that shit. You guys should put that shit in your Twitter bios.
No, it's it. Hey, look at my LinkedIn. I've got 3rd place Optimus Layup Club.
So
literally my bios. I won't take too much time, but all my bios are from when I was like 7 years old. All my awards in my LinkedIn, because I don't need a LinkedIn. Like, I don't care. I own my own business. I don't. So I just put those. And I was giving this speech to like 200 people, and the lady said, "Introducing Shane Coulter, 3rd place Optimus Club Wendy's shootout."
Oh man. I'd have to put in. I'd have to put in 2nd place in the geography bee and early exit in the spelling bee. You know what I'm saying? So.
Whenever you have time, look at my LinkedIn. I've never changed.
They got me, man. They got me with Apex. I thought there were 2 P's in Apex, man. That's what it was. And to this day, that failure looms large. I was a top seed. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, but for real, Josh is the only like D1 athlete on this panel. So just since he's not trumping,
1 year at University of Alabama. So
doing what? Cross country?
Soccer.
No way, really?
Soccer player.
No way. See, look at this. I didn't even know that, man. You definitely should have flexed. You should have came on with like red hair. You should have done like your own dye hair thing and been like, I'm Shane got hits now. You know what I'm saying? Or something. Shane got bigger hits.
Google me from the 80s. I had a nice mullet going. I was a pretty solid player.
Oh,
you know what's interesting?
Right at Stranger Things. Which is another show I caught up on. Stranger Things. Big shout out.
We think about that stuff like, oh yeah, just Google it. You can go find that. But here's the thing. I recently tried to Google something about my high school experience. And what I realized was that there is nothing on the internet. Yeah. And the reason is there was no fucking internet when we were in high school. And so all that shit that we did is only in the newspaper clipping.
And the actual yearbook. You got to go into the yearbook.
Yeah, you got to go to the yearbook and the newspaper clippings. That's it. That's it. We don't exist.
So another show that my wife likes to watch is Schitt's Creek, and there's an interesting episode there where the mom Moira is like bummed at first because she thinks there's naked pictures of her on the internet, and then she gets upset when she realizes that there aren't, because she's like, that was when I was really hot and younger, and like I was in great shape. She's like, put all your pictures up now, because as you get older, you're gonna wish that was there for people to see. So anyway, but yeah, it is kind of crazy. We definitely feel, it makes me feel old. So let's go ahead and talk about some domains. We'll also post when the show starts talking about domains, because we get a couple of folks that are like,
I think we've touched on domains. We've segued each of these things into domains a little something.
Oh, hey, all roads lead to domains, baby. All roads lead to domains, which is Drew gets credit. That's a Drew line. All roads lead to domains is Drew. But we've got some good quotes that we've been running lately. Shout out to Braden with "It's not worthless, it's worth less." I got every domain is a snowflake, and the other one from the other day, which thank you, Drew, for giving me credit on Twitter, which is there's the right price.
Reluctantly,
there's the right now price. You know what I'm saying? And for the sellers who've been trying to hold on to their domains with diamond hands, especially names that are in like Web3, crypto, metaverse, all these kinds of things, man, it's like, the market shifts and it moves quickly. And, which is something we just talked about on the show that we just posted today, or will be posting today, which is a new episode of Off the Market Forever with Chris and James Isles. And it was another great episode. Really excited about doing that show. That show's a lot of fun. So if y'all haven't checked that out, then definitely do that. And that was some of what we talked about, a little bit about the movement in market and some of how that is being, how we were seeing some of that shaking out. And, because if a name, the one point we made is that, just as if a domain gets bought by its, the best case end user, very likely is off the market forever. But you also have domain sellers that get offers, and sometimes they, want to hold out for, unrealistic numbers or just more and more money. And sometimes an offer can be off the market forever, and you'll never get that value again. So all interesting kind of thoughts and topics, and again, something we cover on that other show as well. So all right, well, let's dive right into segment one. Well, that was segment one. So now we're going to slide into segment two, which is the domain game, and that's where we talk about domains that the Sherpas recently bought or sold. All the Sherpas try to guess what they bought or sold for, and we keep score, and we crown a winner. Let's go. We're talking about athletics and competition, and we definitely see that come out here in the show. So, all right, Josh, you are to my right, so that is where we start. What do you got? You got to buy, you got to sell. What you got?
Wait, do you guys know what I sold Superfly.com for? Did you guys see that?
I just know that you don't. I know you sold it because you no longer have that attached to your email.
No. I didn't know nothing about it. I like that name though, Superfly.
So then let's talk. That sounds like a good one to talk about.
The only thing is that you have it with the Y, right?
Yeah, SUPERFY.
And it's a little confusing because everybody uses the D-Phi, C-Phi, this Phi, that Phi, Y-Phi, and so I think some people might get confused with the I versus the Y. But
yeah, and they also.
I like that name a lot.
They also get confused, and they add an L after the F.
Superfly,
Superfly. Yeah.
Superfly.
Damn, who owns Superfly.com? I want that.
Yeah, I know that's a sick name.
That's got to be my email. Superfly Insights. Smarter decision, better returns.
Superfly and a suit.
Yo, check this out.
Are we talking about is Superfly the name?
Superfly.com. Superfly Insights, right? Smarter decisions, better returns. Scroll down. Copyright 2018. They made some bad decisions and got some bad returns. This shit's out of business.
Shit.
So that one is not off the market forever.
Superfly.com. How much?
But technically, hey, just for the, just to, on the IP side though, and we talked about that. Now, I don't know if that company is or is.
And just for the record, for y'all out there, by the time you hear all this, I will have already contacted them and negotiated to purchase this domain name. So save yourself the trouble.
Save yourself the trouble. But that's the real alpha right there. But hey, a copyright notice, everybody wants to always have the most recent date as if that's a good thing on their copyright notice. But actually, the longer, wider window, is actually, an advantage when you're talking about what you're copywriting and how long you've had the rights to it. Right. So, everybody.
That's why you should just do the 2001 to 2000. Yes. Yeah.
That is, and that's some real, there you go. That's some website footer alpha for you guys. You know what I mean? Give it the range so that you can effectively, to the extent, now look, this, just because you put the number, if you actually didn't, create the content in that, by at that time, whenever you put your starting date, then, or if you added and updated, then you're not going to get the credit to go all the way back to that first date. But you'd be better off starting with the start date through the current date. I would agree. I actually think that is the best approach, in my personal opinion. It's not legal advice. It's not financial advice, but take it for what you will. There's some website footer alpha for y'all. Anyway, so is Superfly. So, we're talking about it. So can we, is that the one we're working with, Josh?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Drew, keep it moving, man. What do you think? What do you think he sold it for?
All right. Superfly.com. I'm going to say, that was kind of your thing, right? Wasn't that sort of your brand, so to speak?
It was the name of a corporation I opened a long time ago.
All right. I'm going to say $18,000.
18 G's. All right. I like it. 18 grand on Superfly.com. Crane Culture, what do you think, man? What's up? John Deere? What's good?
I'll say,
what's up, JD?
I'm going to say he played it a little harder to get. So I'm going to say 42.5. Just, I don't know. For some reason, that seems like to buy a nice used car.
Yeah, so I'm going to split the difference. You know what I'm saying? Not for gamification purposes, but because I do believe, so in my head when, you weren't using it for a brand, but you were using it for your email, but everything's got a price, so I'm going to be more on the 25K, I think is, I was in between 25 and 30 was where I was trying to figure out sort of what was what. 29, I know you like that 99999, you know what I'm saying? So 2999, but I'm going to say 24,999. That's it. That's what's up. So We got a big range between 18 Gs and 42.5. I'm sitting there sort of in the
damn,
middle.
There's a bunch of end users for this, like mad end users.
All right, well, let's find out what he sold it for.
35.
All right.
Damn, son. Nice sale, but legit, this might be worth like 3 times that.
I had a decent amount of inquiries over the years. The main one that most people see that like owns most of like the alternate extensions is like usesuperfi.com, and they wanted to get it from me for like many years, but they just offered like shitty money. So I don't know. I got loads of other offers, but I got an offer through Dan for 30 grand, and I looked at it and I was like, nah, not doing that. I'll counter at 50, and if he accepts 50, then it's fine. We'll do it. I'll change my email, and it's all good. It's 50 grand. And then he came back with 35, and he said, "Hello, thanks for your counter offer. This is my final offer, and I can transact today." And I was just like, I think I may have just like made a bad trade or some shit. And I was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
That's the right decision in this market. That cash is valuable.
Yeah, no, hey, look, I think that's all
but
good.
There is, I'm shocked. There's literally Ask Superfi, right, which is an app.
That's the one that contacted me a bunch.
And then there's Get Superfi, another one that lets you chat with people that can help you. It's a so-called superbot. And then there's Superfi.app, Superfi social, some kind of social thing. Then there's Superfi.gr in Greece, which I don't know what they do. No idea.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch.
Yeah, it's like,
and they're all going to stay that way.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And none of
off the market forever, baby.
None of them were the buyers. It was some dude out of Australia.
Yeah.
And
good for him. Yeah. I love that. I love when the people that are the obvious buyer get like full of themselves, you know, and they're like, "Nah, man, I am the buyer for this. So I'll wait around till you come to my price." And it's like, now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave. And it's like now
you're stuck on your shit domain forever.
Well,
you might as well start your rebrand today, bucko.
Yeah, well, and that's an interesting point, because here's the thing: when it's sitting with with a domain investor or somebody who had an idea that didn't act on it and just, it's in the portfolio, it's like, all right, at that point, it's not a threat to your brand beyond the fact that you don't own it, right? I mean, obviously, there's an enormous amount of email leakage and all these other kinds of things, and all Chris made the point on the show on Off the Market Forever, where he said it's like, it's going to cost you the money anyway. You might as well pay it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's costing you anyway. So you might as well pay for the domain. And, and this is an example of that. So now it's gone from, okay, that's a risk that's out there that we've got to act on and make that happen when we feel like the time is right or we can make it work, to now you're fucked. You know what I mean? So it's like, now yous can't leave. Shout out to Sonny.
Yous can't leave.
Shout out to Sonny from Bronx Tale. And so all right, well, Shane gets the point. I was right there, man. I should have gone with my original gut, which was 30K, but it's a good, solid sale. What'd you pay for the domain? What'd you pay for it? How long did you hold it?
So I paid $250
$250 to 35 Gs. And you're like, maybe I should have, maybe I undersold it. Maybe I undersold it at that, 150 times, 150x, I guess.
It was a lot. That was like a long hold for me, though. That was like a 6-year hold.
300x or whatever. No, 250x. But anyway,
that's a lifetime for you.
My God,
that's Super Bowl. Why don't I call you why don't I AK Super Bowl ever, man? That's like,
I think that was my pen for him.
That was yours for him. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Well, good stuff. Shane with the point. All right. So Sugar Crane, Shane.
Hey, sorry. I have a completely unrelated question for Josh.
Anyway, but yeah.
Totally unrelated. Well, sort of, I could tie it back to domains actually, but I need to know, what is the color of a tennis ball? This was literally a throwdown blowout fight in my household yesterday.
I mean, my gut reaction is going to say yellow, but I think it's green.
Yeah,
it's probably green. My gut reaction.
I'm going to say yellow. I said that it was a neon green.
The thing is that the color has changed over time as well, right? So
my
like
wife was on the verge of divorcing me because I couldn't agree that it was yellow.
No, I think you're fair. I think it's fair for you to say that it's neon green these
Yeah.
days. The ball color has changed as well. So back in the day, it was a lot more yellow. In fact, back in the day, it was almost white. So
Really?
yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
It was against green grass.
What would you guys have said? Green or yellow? You would
I
have
was
said
all
yellow.
A neon yellow, yeah.
JT?
Yeah, I think it's more green than yellow. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more like a lime neon green. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my
that's where I'm at.
It's like, is this that blue dress, gold dress or stuff, you know, like, or my kids showed me something the other day where it was like a list of words that somebody was saying something, and it was like a list of like 7 words, and it's like whichever word you were looking at, that's what you heard. But they were like super random, like they weren't close, you know what I mean? It was like phrases almost, and it was like whichever one you were looking at, that was the one that, you know, that
Super weird how that
crazy, you know what I mean? So yeah, well, can we get like a definitive? I guess
you want to hear
brands,
something really funny though?
different brands have different. Yeah.
I actually own yellowball.com since a super long time. And there's this company, Yellow Ball something, they've been trying to buy it for many years. They keep lowballing. I don't know if they have anything to do with tennis. I don't even remember what they do, but you know, my default, you know, I guess in the end, when I bought it because of tennis, but I actually do fundamentally believe that it is green.
So well, the International Tennis Federation
come
says
on.
Optic yellow.
Right, but
Optic yellow. So they're saying yellow.
Yeah, well, except this. If you Google Optic yellow, right, it leads to the online color encyclopedia, Color Hexa. There, the shade is listed as pound CCFF00 and is actually marked as fluorescent yellow or electric lime. Electric lime.
Damn!
The plot thickens like Charles Dickens, baby. You feel me? Like, what's up
dinner's
now?
Dinner's gonna get interesting.
I still don't know though if that answers the question. You know?
No, it doesn't.
Oh man, I'm electric green all the way.
Electric
green.
lime. Electric lime. You know?
Electric lime, even
electric
better.
lime to me feels right. You know what I'm saying? That feels right.
I'm in. So, I like electric lime.
Electric lime. So anyway, so that's what's up. I think that's
speaking of John Deere, they actually trademarked the color. They got John Deere green.
Oh yeah, and that's a beautiful green, man. You know, when you
sure
see
is.
it,
it's one of the nicest greens they're going.
You know when you see it, you know what I'm saying?
And yet it's still yellow.
Oh, look at that! Oh man, Sugar Shane Crane with the yellow John Deere. That's you sure?
Yo, you got that Chinese made shit.
I was just gonna say,
yo, you got that Chinese John Deere.
He got the different. He got Juan Deere or
you got like the
John Dow.
You got the Vuitton Louis. You got the Vuitton Louis instead of the Louis Vuitton.
You got like the John Deere, you know, with a little Y at the end. But
John Deere.
All right, Drew, what do you got? You got to buy or sell, man. What you got?
All right, I got a sale.
End of sunburn. We keep them out in the sun too long today.
Exactly.
I'm going for a sale today.
All right, which one?
All right. Did I already tell you guys about Atlas? I mean, JT, you know this one already.
Oh shit! You sold Atlas? Isn't
Atlas.xyz? I sold.
Yeah,
it.
I know this one. I can't vote on this, so I'm out officially.
Oh, .xyz.
Yeah.
That changes it a little bit.
Wait.
Oh,
isn't that like your son's name or something?
Yeah.
And
it's his middle name.
So
I tried to get the Lou.xyz. I couldn't get it. I got the Atlas.xyz.
He's gonna be
Mila for my daughter.
But that's a big payday for Lou, man. He's just like he's gonna be chilling now. He's like
Lou Atlas
he's gonna be rolling into school like
you're giving away information that is gonna affect their price expectations.
Nah, I mean, hey, like for a little kid, man, like $100.
Simmer down. There's freaking merch on the line here, dog.
All right. Let's go.
Settle down.
Fine.
I don't think you get as much. I don't think you get as much money as Swetha for your names, though.
Well, hey, Shane's first with his analysis here, so it's really just a Shane or Josh thing. So let's go.
Yeah. I'll go first. Atlas.xyz. XYZ, I have no idea. I see these numbers. It's crazy. It's just the first thing that came to mind was 15,000. So I'm going to say 15 grand.
15 grand.
I don't know why. That's just what came to mind. That's what we're going with.
All right,
All right.
Josh.
You mofo. You sold it for like 70 G's. I'm going to say you sold it for $60,000.
60 G's. Now, by the way, since it's only the two of you, big shout out to Josh for not trying to just gamify it by saying I'm going to go $15,001. You know what I mean? I think that's good. You took real risk by jumping, thinking that it's more than what Shane said and throwing it down. But let's see what's good. All right, so Josh says 60 and Shane says 15,000. Atlas.xyz. Drew, and the answer
Drum
is
roll, $89,000.
boom.
I told you. I should have said
We're gonna be
75.
walking into elementary school like a pimp, being
Yeah.
like, "What's up,
He's
ladies?"
gonna have Jordans. He's gonna have a Rolex.
You're
He's
rocking.
gonna walk into first grade like, what's good?
He's gonna have on one foot. He's gonna
those
have a
XYZs,
Jordan like
man.
limited. On the other foot, he's gonna have a Yeezy slide. He's gonna be like, he's just gonna be doing it all. Louis Balenciaga hoodie. He's gonna be like, "What's up, y'all? What's good?"
Was that a premium renewal, Drew?
No. Mm-mm.
How much you pay for
No.
that?
15.
I think I registered it.
Well, so you've had it for a long time?
Yeah, I got a portfolio of XYZs that I registered when it first came out. Nobody gave a shit. I was always I always actually liked XYZ. I'm not trying to be a big, strong proponent or anything. Daniel is a good friend. I think he runs an incredible business, but I think he had a lot of foresight in going for a truly generic extension that has no meaning whatsoever. And I think he took a good, sort of funny approach to the branding of like, well, the alphabet ends in XYZ. Why shouldn't your brand, right? I like that. It's so stupid.
I think that I wouldn't say
pragmatic.
stupid. I wouldn't say stupid. I say
No, but
it's
like
silly.
it's so
silly.
in
I
your
think
face.
silly.
Yeah,
silly is the word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And agreed. Look, Daniel's the homie, and super smart guy, has done incredible incredible things. And but yeah, I mean the way he approached XYZ, because he approached it in earnest and aggressively right from the jump. He rolled right in there with a plan. I mean, they have a handful of additional ones in the portfolio, but it's that was the one. And the way they went about it, obviously he duked it out a bit with VeriSign with some of that stuff, but yeah, he did
and won.
Boom, as he would say, boom. Yep. And
I actually have that .xyz, boom.xyz.
Yo, do you have that?
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
man.
that's a really good one. And I think,
How
look,
much
and
do you
I
want
mean,
to sell that to me for?
well,
just go to the landing page and check out, bro.
yeah, boy. So, but I think the way that they went about doing that, and we mentioned .club before, but also the way they ran their registry was also, I think, was commendable. And these they had long tails on long visions that they executed on, and and really have seen those results. Now, I think XYZ is, what's neat about that is that they've, kind of had some of these ebbs and flows. There was one point where they had all these, all the Chinese registrations based on the promotions they did, the 99-cent stuff, the penny stuff, like, they were some of the earlier ones tying them, using them for Ethereum and crypto addresses and crypto wallets, things like that. And now we're seeing, people are even using XYZs and picking XYZs ahead of .ios as the alternate extension in the Web3 NFT crypto space, or in the tech space in general. Alphabet XYZ was a real big win when that happened.
Yep.
Using
ABC.xyz, that's the shit. ABC.xyz, that's cool.
Silicon Valley, the show Silicon Valley and all that stuff. And, there was a lot of really neat things that have happened over the history of that. I mean, it's really cool. And but again, they've been in it for the long haul.
Speaking of the history of that, so 2009, maybe 10, Rick Latona was still the dominant domain broker in the space. And he had basically taken over for Rick Schwartz. I think this was his first traffic conference that he was hosting. Rick Schwartz and Howard Noy and Lenny, they took a back seat. And Rick Latona did the auction. It was in Vancouver. And XYZ.com was in the auction. And I remember talking to Rick before the auction. I'm going, man, XYZ.com, like that is just an absolutely killer domain. And, you know, I was like, man, I would kill to have that name. And so I was bidding in the auction, but I had no money back then. And so I think I got tapped out at 25. Now, granted, a random 3letter.com back then was selling for about $8,000. Okay. I tapped out at like 20, 25. And then I think, actually, I know it sold for, I believe, 40 grand in that auction. And Nagari bought it. Nagari bought it for 40 grand in that auction. We were all live in the room in Vancouver. And I remember going up to Daniel and be like, man, that is one of those names that you just gonna look back on and be like, how did I let that go? Or in your case, like, you know, thank God I just stepped up and bought that domain, you know? And here we are. Him buying xyz.com in that auction in Vancouver. It's not to say that's the only factor, but that ultimately likely is what led to him choosing to go all in on .xyz.
For sure.
And building it into what it is today, which is an absolute monster.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he was like 22 years old. Like
literally. He was like 23, 22. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what's crazy too. You think back to those days and like some of those, you know, the guys that were the younger guys at that point and how some of them at the time and, you know, weren't even 21, couldn't even drink at the conference.
That was literally the first time I met Yanni was at that conference too.
And that's what I was thinking of, you know, it's like, and, oh man,
that was the first time I met Yanni in person. He had literally had a slash across his face and blood all over his shirt.
Yeah, that was,
he literally got into a sword fight. He was drunk at a party and they literally got into a sword fight. Yeah, and the dude cut him across the face with a samurai.
He flew home like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know,
he ended up at the airport. He had no money. He had no nothing. Richard Lau had to like lend him money. Yeah. He showed up looking like a homeless dude at the conference. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And Toby Clemens is like, you don't know who that is? That's Yanni, man.
It's crazy, man. Crazy. So, well, big shout out to all of them. All good stuff.
Yeah.
XYZ.
The homies.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, look, we got at least.
Did you see Sweater sold like Byte.xyz for 120?
Yeah, I can't believe that. I mean, it's just crazy. She's on fire, man. Shout out Sweater.
Oh, yo, she's on. Talk about
crazy.
like
let's get her on here
for real, because you think about, you know, talk about the vision and
you think
commitment.
with all that, you know, with all that that time you've got, that you would have thought about getting her on here already.
You know, she's on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got, like I said, I mentioned Stranger Things. You know, that was another one I had to just get caught up on. But now that that's done, I'm kind of in between shows. I can get a little bit of work done, so it's all good.
Oh, okay, that's good. Good to know.
Big shout out to Stranger Things, the Upside Down. You know what I mean? All right, Shane, what you got? You got to buy or a sell, man. What's happening? Oh, you muted. We can't hear you.
You're muted, dude.
Oh, I had to switch in my car because I was getting third-degree burns out there.
Yeah. You went from Sunny Crane Shane
to
Chevy
Bronco?
Shane.
No, I'm in the Explorer. The Bronco doesn't have a top. It's just as bad. I'd be cooking just as bad.
Nice.
I took that top off and put it in the garage, and if it rains, it doesn't go out. Like it literally has to be no chance of rain to get that thing out. And I ordered a Rivian too, so that's my next car. My Rivian.
Oh wow, nice.
I got the SUV, so
I ordered the Tesla truck.
Yeah, but that's never coming, you know. So
I'll be selling my Rivian used by the time you get that thing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what's up? Meanwhile, Shane's like Shane was picking on Elon a little bit after those pictures came out. He literally looks like a white gutter pigeon, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know,
it's because he took the piss out of Bill Gates, right? I mean,
that's the problem. That's the problem. Is I would say I'd give him a pass because, you know, billionaires get a pass on a lot of shit. But not after he went hard on Bill Gates. Like, you can't go hard on Bill Gates when you look like a freaking block of concrete.
He looks like the Michelin Man, you know what I'm saying?
He looks like a seal. He looks like a seal.
Oh, that's good. He looks like he literally got inflated like with a bike pump. You know what I'm saying?
He looked like he was wearing a life vest, like a water life vest under his skin.
Under his
it looks like a fat suit. You know, like a fat suit. How it looks like it's literally hanging on you.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why you know. It ain't that hard to.
I mean, I don't want to make fun of anybody's looks, but it was white. It was like a weird color white, like
He
a
was
possum stuck
fluorescent.
in
He
a-
was like
Well, that's
fluorescent
no,
white.
that color has a name too. It's called factory floor white.
Yo, yeah,
You know what I'm
seriously.
saying? You just you turn
and then his
white like that when
chest.
you don't leave the factory floor.
Yeah, it was such a weird, like it was just so weird.
He
I
looked
mean,
like
the
a
whole
water
thing was
balloon.
just-
You know what I'm saying? That somebody was like squeezing the bottom of. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah.
terrible. I mean, again, you're not supposed to ever judge anybody, but since he's so judgy,
Yes, exactly. Well,
everybody
that's
feels
what it comes
yeah,
down
he
to.
had it
Look,
coming.
it's all
had it
good to be a shit poster, a bully, and things until you get bullied. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to cut anyone down to size. And at the end of the day, we're
Well,
nobody.
to be fair, I don't think he gives a fuck. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
he
Like
cares.
I don't think
he cares. He was like,
we
Shane, why are you talking about me on Twitter, dog?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Dad, he
saying?
texted me, said that.
Of course
but
he
even
doesn't
if
care.
like people he
Not
cares
cool,
about
man.
were
What's
shitting
the-
on him, he wouldn't give a
Well, no, I
No, I
mean,
don't
look,
think he
you're
does
talking
either.
about the
He
richest guy in the
doesn't
world.
care.
Literally, he does not.
Yeah, but
he-
it just proves that no amount of money will make you not that.
yeah, will make you
That's
not that.
sunlight and movement. That's
He
sunlight.
literally
and
looked like the
movement.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You know what I'm saying? Like he was all in on this
Yeah.
new Ghostbusters shit.
He's a big dude too. Like I wonder what he actually
Evidently.
weighs. Like he's
Yeah.
probably damn close to 300 because he's a
No,
big
no,
dude. Well,
I don't think
how
so.
tall is he? Is he like 6'4"?
Is it?
He's not 300. I would say he's 300.
How tall is Elon Musk?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought he was
No,
tall.
he's 6'2". He's 6'2".
Is
But
he
he's
really?
6'2", so he's
That's pretty
6'2".
tall. I'm surprised.
6'2" with that kind of bulk. I mean, he's 250, 260. Hell yeah!
Billion or pounds?
What, you think he's less than 250?
Hey, here's a question. Does he have more billions or more pounds? What's
He's a little short in billions. He's a little short in billions.
All right.
Okay.
So Shade, you got to buy or
What's
sell?
he got? He's got like 190 billion.
Okay, yeah. So he's heavier than he is billions.
That's a good problem to have, though. Let me tell you something.
Oh man, if you're talking about how much I weigh versus
Till your heart pops.
Well,
net
yeah.
worth?
Oh, I'm all about it. Sign me up, man. I look like him.
Mine's in
That's a-
hundreds of thousands, but mine has to be hundreds and thousands for me to get
yeah,
there.
mine is just purely dollars. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's just straight dollars because you got kids going to college eventually.
oh yeah, that'll do it to you.
Okay, so I got to buy. It's a worthless buy, but nobody listened to me earlier when I talked on the last show. So I bought Ladybug.eth. What do you think Ladybug.eth goes
Ooh,
for?
all right. I like it. We're talking ETH domains, man. Let's go. All right. So it goes to me first. Ladybug.eth. What did you pay?
Let's do it in dollars because it makes a huge difference on not ETH. Let's do it in US dollars.
All right. So Ladybug.
Oh man, now you're gonna make me do math and shit.
So yeah,
Okay.
no, that's what I'm saying. So I think you probably bought it for my guess would be Ladybug.eth, maybe 0.3 ETH, which, in today's money. So, let's just say it was, so I'll just say $500 to keep it relatively,
That's what I was gonna say.
so I'm going to say $500 in USD or, 0.3 ETH, depending on timing when you bought it, 0.25 ETH, that kind of thing. But $500 is my actual dollar amount vote. All right. Josh.
I'm gonna say $150 with gas.
Ooh, with gas, with gas. Mine was without, for what it's worth. Oh, gas has been mad cheap lately.
So all right, I'm gonna say gas is like meaningless.
Drew
right now.
just went to the blockchain, right? He just did.
No, I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't. I'm actually doing something completely unrelated. I'm multitasking. I did a transaction this morning where I paid 18 cents in gas.
Yeah. Gas has been really cheap, which is cool.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I had 4 cents. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna say $600.
All right, ready? Nope, I overpaid. I'm not gonna make any money. I paid 2 ETH, which was like $2,200.
Wow.
For the
All
name.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's hard finding one word .eth. They just don't. Most people don't price. That's the thing. Is like they're all out there.
Yeah, that's
Try
the
and
thing.
buy
There's
them.
no liquidity because there's no price. No, there's
Nobody
no
puts
price.
on anything.
There's no price discovery because there's no There's no market. There's no liquidity. There's no pricing.
And tons
of
people just sit there. They're 2 years ago with the guy, whoever registered them doesn't even know they're there, forgot that they did it. So I'd say let's say the one word .eth. I don't think I'd be exaggerating and say 25% of them you'll never be able to buy because nobody knows where they are. You can put in all the offers you want, but they forgot they're in that wallet.
Yeah.
But the only kind of like price discovery that you do get, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know the market like you guys do for .eth, but is on the registrations, because when these drop now, they have like massive registration costs, like the top tier ones, right? So like
it's a Dutch auction, right? So it's
so like you see them go for like
$50 million down to zero.
Yeah, but they tend to get snapped up pretty early from what I've seen.
They are,
Really?
yeah, much more than you would think. Like it's crazy what they're going for. Just because you look at it, we know a valuable.com and they're paying $20,000 for a name. I mean, like I sold my 3-numbered .eth for $75,000. I mean, somebody paid $75,000 for that, and I think they're cool. And I think the 999 Club is, but that was 2 months ago. That's a pretty bold move to spend $75,000 on something that's the utility is just your wallet address. And I'm not downplaying it because conceivably it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that's an early buy-in, especially on the stuff just now dropping.
There's just no getting away from the fact that ETH, it just hits different. It's just so easy to spend, you know?
Yeah, and look, we have one of the Sherpa episodes that we did that we literally 1 ETH equals 1 ETH was the title, and we talked, it was a rabbit hole show talking about that. Yeah, the context is so different, man. It's so different. ETH is like nothing. I'll spend it like it's no big deal, you know?
Well, 1 ETH is 1 ETH.
I can't get away from that.
1 ETH is 1 ETH in a bull market. I don't know about in a bear market.
I don't know. I'm still like very much ingrained, like the one, like I know 1 ETH is not 1 ETH, but to me, 1 ETH feels like 1 ETH, and that's it. Like,
well, that's great. It. That's great. You know what I mean? Like you're the dudes that we want to take money from.
But you know, it helps. You know what's crazy? Drew? It actually helps you make money in this industry. Like it helps you make money.
Yeah, well, because I mean, that's that's the level, right? That's the level setting that in order to.
And honestly, this has been a perfect time to accumulate the ETH. So to end up with your wallet in the same amount of ETH as you started with, and take the tax loss. Yeah. So I sold that 8. It was over $500,000, and I've had tons of losses like everybody else. But it's been a great time to sell some things at a big loss. And then take the ETH. So I've got the same amount of ETH that I started with, but obviously I have a lot less cash. But I have a tax loss of now hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the same amount of ETH.
So when you have a tax loss now? You have a tax loss now, Shane?
I'm not to a tax loss, but I've really worked that monkey down to almost nothing. Yeah.
Me too, dude. I worked down from like plus like hundreds of thousands to basically zero over the last like 3 months, which is
I'm not quite there. But I sold 2 mutants and a monkey at almost exact peak. Like I sold my mutant for like 42 ETH.
Oh wow!
So I had a really good, but NFT World just made it super easy to write off.
Oh dude!
And
we're not even going to get into that. That's like, well, hey, look, all right.
But a tax loss isn't. It sounds terrible to lose money, but at the same time, that's where ETH is, and ETH can come in value. So if I start the year with the same, or I end the year with the same amount of ETH as I started and have my taxes down to zero, that's a pretty good place financially. I mean, it'd be better to just have cash, but in general, there is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, paid a lot of in taxes last year, so they're more sensitive now to it than ever. And to your point, it's like you make real money, turn it into real things, and then as you're selling some of these things at a loss, but you still have the same amount of ETH, it's like when ETH runs again, it's going to be, which it will. It's you may be waiting a minute, but the then you're gonna get that you'll get the value then, and it's not a bad place to be in, especially when you got the next tax bill.
I'm not sure I'd go so far as to say it will.
It likely will. It likely will.
It likely will.
Okay.
I would go there for Bitcoin. I'd say yes, 100%. I feel convicted that Bitcoin will run again. I wouldn't necessarily say that for Ethereum.
Well, look at the last week or so, ETH up 50%, Bitcoin up 20%, you know what I'm saying? So 50.
Yeah, but look at the last month. Bitcoin has outperformed. Well, let's say ETH has underperformed Bitcoin. Nothing has performed because everything's gone down.
Yeah.
But ETH went down a lot more than Bitcoin did.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is the reason I say that, okay? Because all that short-term shit doesn't mean shit to a tree, okay? The trouble, not to segue this into a crypto conversation, the trouble is that Ethereum is a liability, Bitcoin is an asset. And the reason that Ethereum remains a liability is because you rely upon a group of individuals to complete a promised set of tasks in the same way as when I make an investment into a startup, that investment success is contingent upon a team of people completing the technology or whatever the product, the service, whatever it is, completing that, executing on it, and successfully implementing it as a business and earning a profit in theory. That is what you're relying on with Ethereum, right? Ethereum is currently a proof of work blockchain that somehow decided they hate proof of work and is going to migrate to proof of stake. And, look, if you think for 1 second that is a guarantee that this team of people will pull off a migration of a blockchain that is built upon one consensus technology, and you're going to migrate that seamlessly to a new consensus technology, in a short period of time, but it's supposed to happen in August, September. And you think that's going to go off without a hitch? Well, I got a bridge to sell you, right? So the point is that there is execution risk, which makes it a liability. It makes it a hell of a lot more speculative. And so, risk adjusted, what's the right price? I don't know. Probably not the price we got now. But so that's why I say that is look, I like Ethereum. Ethereum's cool.
No, I think, hey, look, I think those are all interesting
Vitalik
points.
Is, he's a pretty odd dude, given enough power, I think he'd probably be,
if you put Vitalik
he'd
next
probably
to
be Mao. He'd probably
if you
be
put
Mao.
Vitalik next to Elon, then you got sticks and stones, you know what I'm saying? Right? Am I right? Because he's so skinny.
He's just,
and
he's
Elon
stick
and
an
stone.
alien.
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
He's an alien. Mad respect, mad intelligent, but he's got some
look,
pretty strange views of how the world should work.
Well,
but my point is that
he's like such an uber genius that I think that's like, you get some of that.
Well, he's also a socialist, but he wants. My point is that Ethereum relies upon, like, if Vitalik dies tomorrow, what do you think happens to the price of Ethereum?
Goes down massively.
Right? Massively. Like it probably goes down by 80%, right? What happens if the Ethereum Foundation implodes, right? Like in Tezos, for example, when Tezos, the price of Tezos after it launched in its ICO 2018, price of Tezos was the most promising of all of the ICOs that launched. At the time, it was also the largest ICO that happened. And in fact, it might have even been larger than Ethereum. I don't remember. But the Tezos would probably be what Ethereum is today if they had this huge board fight of the Tezos Foundation. One of the board members tried to go too far. He thought he had a little more power than he did. And it turned into a multi-year legal battle. And, in the interim, Tezos imploded. No progress was made. And the Tezos Foundation imploded, had to basically be shut down and a new foundation created, et cetera, et cetera. If you think that can't happen to the Ethereum Foundation, you're crazy. You're dreaming. You're being delusional. And so, you're like one of these hyphenated .eth people. And so
I'm a poly hyphenate. You know what I'm saying? No, I feel you. And let's not look, we're way in, we're off on the rabbit hole. But I think those are great points.
We are a place in the world where people need to hear the truth, the tough love. Yeah. You need to hear the truth. You need to accept the truth. You need to smack yourself around a little something and get with reality, because there's just a lot of people with very bad ideas. And
can you imagine how crazy that would be if Ethereum imploded and like all of the shit coins that come with it just aren't able to operate anymore? Like ape coins, just like down the drain, everything just fucked. It would be so
now, again, look,
NFTs,
we're talking about tail risk, right? We're talking about tail risk. This is like, way out, although probably not as far out as you might think, but it is way out on the tail of the risk curve, right? Like closer in on the risk curve is like means higher probability of this risk happening. This is tail risk. This is way out on the lower probability of, happening. Okay. But it is a risk. And so you got foundation risk, Vitalik risk, execution risk. You got technology risk. You got, hey, this is totally unproven. We're going to move over to this new consensus mechanism that may or not work. Please name me a proof of stake coin that is actually, successful. Because I'm not aware of one. So the point is, there's a lot of risk involved, and I don't think it's fair for people to be making these decisions thinking that there's no risk involved, that Bitcoin is equal to Ethereum. No, it ain't. Bitcoin is an asset, Ethereum is a liability. There's no two ways about it. This is factual. This isn't an argument. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact. And if you don't understand that, then go get kicked by a donkey.
When did you get Michael Saylor? Did Saylor just step in?
I know, Drew. Well, remember Drew's interview with Saylor? That was a really great piece of content.
Yeah.
If you all haven't seen that, and
Throw a little beer.
no, but hey, look, I think
best
that's all.
meme in the history of the internet is Saylor's number two. Number two? There is no number two best digital asset. That's the best meme ever.
Well, and no, but I think these are all important points, and well taken. So, all right, look, here's
the point
deal.
was just that you said Ethereum will rise again, and I just wanted to preface that with, well, maybe.
I know we said
Don't say that again, JT.
It'll possibly, likely, maybe rise again.
Don't say that again.
I know. Bitcoin maxis, rise of the Bitcoin maxis. It's all good, man. I think this real truth, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you learning me on that. Now, here's where we're at, though, with this show, talking about domain names, and specifically talking about we're in the middle of the domain game, and right now, all three of you each have a point. So we have to determine a winner. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to pick a name. Y'all get off your browsers. You're going to give me a number quickly, right?
All right, hands up.
So, so the name, we're going to take a somewhat recent NameJet domain that, from what I can tell, none of y'all were involved in the auction. I just took a look. It is loveandmoney.com. Love and money, baby. Loveandmoney.com. All right. So we're going to start with Josh, and we're going to swing.
No. Why are we starting with me?
Because we go in order, man. Actually, it's this way.
I've got honor. I will actually go with my price, unlike these guys. They're just going to go with,
No,
what? I never play that game. I always go with what I believe.
So,
right. Loveandmoney.com. God, I would love to at least see how many TLDs it's taken in. Is that allowed? Am I allowed to do that?
No, just give me a number, man. Give me a number.
It's all about testing instincts.
Yes.
All right. Love and money. $1,800.
Wait, love of money or love and money?
Love and
money.
All right, 1,800 for Josh.
Sounds like a reality TV series.
I think it is. I think it's a basketball wives kind of show.
Let's go. Come on, Drew.
Real Housewives in New Jersey.
Let's go.
Real gold diggers in New Jersey. Love and money. All right. Love and money. What did Josh guess?
1,800.
See how he said that wasn't important, and then he just
I was just curious where you came in at. Love and money. I'm gonna go $788.
$788. All right, Shane, what you got?
I'm gonna be nice because Josh was good to me, so I think it was a nice name. When I was doing my list, I thought it's a nice, smooth, memorable name, and I did think it sounded like a reality show. I'll say 3,400 just to give some space to Josh.
All right, the winner. The price, it was $1,464. $1,464.
Oh, damn.
So Josh was on it. So
yeah, there you go.
Went for. Josh is the winner. Name. Ding, ding, ding. More merch for Josh. I got you, bro.
Let's go.
Let's connect. I'm out of town this coming week, but then when
you got me that white hoodie, right?
Yeah, white zoo hoodie, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hoodie.
I sent Shane. I sent you the black Ape In Productions hoodie. I think that's what I sent Braden. I sent some stuff to Miller. So And I got you.
In the
I got
nursery
you.
business, white's not strong for me.
What's that?
I said in the nursery business, white's not a strong color.
I know. I
No.
thought about that, like which one, and because I couldn't remember what we had said, but I think the black joint will be good for you up there in the Chicago winter. You know what I'm saying?
And, you know the thing, and I don't have any sweatshirts.
Exactly. There's no other
Between
projects.
the moonbirds and the sweat, I mean, God, I'm
Hey.
gonna have to just start wearing it to every event.
That's
Oh,
it,
you got a
man.
Moonbird hoodie now?
All
No,
right.
I
Hey.
think it's in hats.
All
Anyway,
right.
go ahead.
Domain game's a wrap. Segment 2 is a wrap. We're going to jump to commercial really quick. I want to also give a shout out to Dan.com, our lead sponsor, the number one place in the world to buy and sell domains if you're a domain investor. So big shout out to them. Shout out to all the participants, but mostly to Josh for winning today's round of the domain game. We'll be right back, y'all.
Media Options is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, Media Options offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. Media Options believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. We just finished up on the domain game where Josh racked up another win, another one. And now we're going to move into segment 3, which is Namejet Gonna Jet, sponsored by Namejet. And we're going to go over a list of domains that are coming up for auction. A couple of quick points that we make on every show, really. We put together the list. There's a spreadsheet you can get right off of the site, DomainSherpa.com. Go to the blog post page, the podcast post for this particular show, and you can download you can find out how many, what the Esteban appraisal is, how many back orders as of the day that we tape the show, how many days left in the back order period before as of the date the show airs, as well as some other search of CPC links just to help make your life easier as you're trying to see what's going on with these various domain names. So definitely check that out. Keep in mind also all these domains are expiring domains, no reserve, but private auction. So in order to participate, you've got to get your back orders in before the end of the back order period for the particular domain so that you can participate in these auctions. They've all got bids. They're all going to auction. If you want to get these names, you got to get in. You got to get involved. And so got a list of 18 names. And so you guys can talk about 6 each, so that as not to steal the thunder from.
6 is a lot. Let's go to.
No, you don't have to talk about.
4.
No. The max is 6. Because what was happening is like, especially since we start with you, and then you talk about 10 names, and then there's like 4 left for everybody else to talk about.
Billy, go to the record, okay? How many names do I talk about? I usually talk about 2, maybe 3.
Go to the tape, he says.
Let's go to the tape.
Go to the tape. All right. Well, you start and talk to us about 2 or 3 names. What do you like? What don't you like? What's interesting? What stands out?
All right. There's actually a bunch of names that I really like a lot on here. I'm just trying to think which one I like the most. But from a liquidity standpoint, nd.org, twoletter.org. I love twoletter.orgs. I've always loved them. So great name. That's also, I guess, North Dakota, I assume. I don't know.
North Dakota, Notre Dame.
Yeah. So that's a great name.
What do those go for? Those go for 100 grand? Like what's
it's interesting. They just keep moving up. No, the wholesale price is like 15 to 25, depending on the quality. And that's basically doubled since a year ago when I was buying them for like 8 to 10. So those things just keep going up. The twoletter.orgs, I think, those are phenomenal. Anyways, from a commercial perspective, wheelrepair.com, I think is an amazing domain. Like that's a great business. Everybody dings their wheels and everybody needs to get them repaired. And there's like a whole system. It's kind of like auto glass. Mm-hmm. That's a huge business. Wheel repair is not as big as auto glass, but it's still a big business. And, they'll get you for a couple $100 just to repair that ding in your wheel. So I think that I love that. I like that name a lot. great for lead gen, good for a business in the space. It's just a multifaceted, great commercial domain name. And then I'm a big ocean lover. You got oceanography.com on there. That's one of those names. It's like, I love that name and I'd probably pay a decent price for it. I don't know that it's ever going to sell to anybody. It might even be more valuable or more attractive as a .org than a .com in this case. But I do like oceanography.com. It is an entire field of study. It is a degree program. It is a field of science. And, it's just it's a great name. I like it. I'd like to own it. And then, toss up, there's a bunch of other good names. But I'm going to go with molecularimaging.com, just because I think that's a very big field of growth. And so, where there's growth, there's generally money. And so in the early stages of growth industry, when there's no brand names, people like to buy generic domains. And so I think molecularimaging.com could be a good hit if you get it at the right price. So but you want to own that cheap. You don't want to be.
So what's the right price on a name like molecularimaging.com?
I don't know. Without going and looking at all the stats, you probably, you probably want to own that under like $2,000, $1,500.
Josh, what do you think that sells for on NameJet?
Molecular imaging?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea, man.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I if it reaches 1,500, I'd be surprised.
All right.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great brand, and it is. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's a field, but I don't know. It'll be someone that thinks just like you thought you were thinking. Oh, that's a huge industry, and you know how that works, right? Like when something's a huge industry, it doesn't make the name valuable, necessarily, because it's not that nobody in that industry is going to buy that name. They want to be some other brand that you're going to remember.
Yeah,
I would think like $1,000, but I wouldn't pay that.
Okay. All right. So we'll see. Are they sandbagging or are they speaking truth? We'll see. No, but I'm with you. All right, cool. Any others, Drew? That's 4, by the way. If for those of you who are keeping count at home.
That was 3, I believe.
Nope, it was 4. You talked oceanography, wheel repair, molecular imaging, and
nd.org.
Oh yeah.
ND.org.
Okay.
So it's still good. You still got 2 more. You got 2 more if you want them.
No. I'm moving on. I'm not gonna,
All good. All right, cool.
You're gonna leave me with freaking Fitness Web.
Did that make the list?
To postcards.
Oh no. There were a couple that got cut that were even worse. But all right, go ahead. Shane's up because we got to go. We go in order.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it small. I like live classes. I just think that it exudes exactly what it's going to offer. And of course, it won't always have to be live. They'll tape it. It's kind of like we've said earlier. The name may kind of tell you what it does, education or improving. But I think live classes is a great name. It can be a brand. It can be any industry or any segment of education. So I love that one. And I like goodword.org because the crypto people don't care that it's a .org. Like to them, it represents a company. .org means company as much as it does organization. So I like Marvelous. It's a little harder to spell, but it's not that difficult. So
Marvelous is cool.
Marvelous is cool. I like Marvelous a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And live classes has the highest CPC, like by far. The second highest is actually molecular imaging. Interestingly, like if you look at the stats. Now I know Shane, you're in the car, so you don't see that, but
I don't see the stats. I'm just going off of what.
But I'm just saying.
I'm just going off what I would know. I'm fairly broad, but obviously, like there's tons of industries I don't know shit about that. They're like, what are you talking about? It's a $50 trillion industry. I'm like, all right, well, I don't own multicolored ferrets. I had no idea that ferrets were
Yeah,
that
that was the
valuable.
thing. Multicolored
You know?
ferrets, baby. You know what I'm saying? They
Was
booming,
that was
dog.
that was that a topic of discussion? Multicolored ferrets?
No, I'm just saying there's always something that like I had no idea that there's people that there's thousands of people that are in some trade that I don't know about.
Yeah, well, real quick, so for me, the company that I was general counsel for, the e-commerce company Solid Cactus, which got bought by web.com, which then brought me into the domain space in the first place. They started as a ferret, like a pet supply company called the Ferret
What?
Store. Yeah, it was the ferretstore.com. Back before,
There you
when
go. See
when
how it all
Amazon
comes together.
when Amazon was just a river, we were selling ferret supplies, and it was actually they developed their online store on the Yahoo Store platform. Developed, programmed in RTML, which was not very common. So as they built out their own store, there were other folks that wanted help building out their websites and doing their online marketing and all of that kind of stuff. So it ended up being that the marketing and design side of the business grew and ended up, we ended up selling the pet business, and then it was the e-com business ended up becoming the thing.
So you're telling me that
who needs
web
ferrets
development
when you
became
got
bigger
software?
than ferret?
Ferret, baby. Ferrets, multicolored ferrets are where it was at. Those were the most those were the rares. Those are the rare ones.
Yeah, that's how most web development companies got involved.
Trippy ferret.
Trippy ferret.
Yeah, trippy ferrets. Yeah, let's go. Oh, that's
so
actually
great.
pretty cool. Anyway, so all right. Sorry, go ahead.
One more name. That's only two, and the other one I like is Outdoor Media. I think I didn't, without looking, to me it seems like Billboard. There's probably a lot of companies named Outdoor Media, or just in general that represents to me billboards and things placed on buildings and things like that.
Yep.
So I think it's a pretty good name and probably would resell.
Yeah, I feel like every billboard that you pass that says advertise here, contact outdoormedia.com, or they got the phone number, you know what I mean? And so no, I can absolutely see that.
Those
all right,
are
cool.
the three that I really like. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. All right, Josh, I think there's still some meat on the bone here. There's a couple. Kind of, sort of.
So
I don't want to be the upper right anymore.
I'll preface by saying that there's only really two names on there that I would be interested in owning right now. Anyway, and that would be marvelous.org and nd.org, which is kind of interesting. It's both the .orgs. If I was actively domaining right now, I would probably back order most of them for the right price. Ones that we haven't talked about that I would buy and there's an opportunity to make money on. I don't think we talked about thundering.com.
No, we did not.
I don't like the name. I don't like the name at all.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Look, when you're in the cleanup spot, you could actually talk about the names that you would want to avoid. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
so.
I don't like the name, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't buy it. I would buy it and I would flip it to someone else who can hold it for a long time, because it's one of those names that, people in the industry will think of it as oh yeah, it's a oneword.com, it's got a certain amount of liquid value. So if you could get it for the right price, you can make a few $1,000s on that. Adtools.com, I don't mind that name. I think that name's okay. I think it makes sense for some kind of advertising and tools around advertising. I mean, the two words work.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't pay more than a couple $100 for it max, and then price it at $5K.
Yep.
And then docmaster.com, same thing. That's a decent name. But again, it's a couple $100 maybe. I wouldn't pay more than $200 for it. And the reason why I'm not actively domaining is because none of these domains are going to go for those prices. They're going to go for $500, $600, and I'm not going to pay that for those names. So
okay, yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned the one word sort of trap, right? Because people do love to act like a lot of oneword.coms are all created equal, but you've got a name on here, and I included it specifically to bring up this point. But inauspicious.com, right? It's hard to spell, hard to say. It's a negative connotation. You know what I mean? So it's but somebody will sit there and be like, oh, when you're Drew will make the mistake to say, hey, show me your oneword.coms. today and today only, and but it's got to be a premium, otherwise you're getting blocked. And then he's got to block literally 1,000 people because everyone starts sending him the hyphenated 3-word, dot whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think that's a good point. And kind of thundering, right? Thundering's kind of interesting, but I think
It's like, he's got a thundering voice, a thundering presence.
thundering is better than inauspicious.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, for sure. That's why-
after the great white hype photo of Eli, he got thundering.com.
thundering.
But that's why there's an opportunity to flip a name like Thundering. It's not because it's going to sell, because it's going to be really hard to sell to an end user. They just doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
you can creatively think about enough ways to use it to sell it to someone else.
Yeah,
Like
well, I
someone
think that's
like
a fair
us.
point. Well, and I think that's an interesting thing, from a domain investing standpoint, right? It's like, we're always trying to get to the end users, right? In our business, that's what we do. We deal with a ton of end users. And, that's some of what we talk about on the Off the Market Forever shows with Chris and James is really looking at the domain acquisitions and activity through the lens and upgrades through the lens of the end user. And, but those aren't the only people that are buying and selling buying domains. So, and there is money to be made in the process. And I think that's an interesting way to also look at it, where it's like, all right, and then that changes what you're going to buy it for then, obviously, right? If you think, hey, this is a slam dunk to an end user, you're going to be willing to spend more money to acquire it. If it's a name that you're thinking, hey, the strategy here is to buy it as cheap, obviously, as you can get it, but potentially flip it within, to a domain investor, that's going to change your strategy, correct?
And also, a lot of the people that are watching Domain Sherpa, they're not selling to end users very often at all. When I was getting started, I don't think I sold a single domain to an end user in the first year, maybe even longer than that, maybe even like 18 months. It's actually really hard to sell to end users, right? So I think a lot of the time, what we're thinking about is, what do I need to buy this for in order to get a good margin to sell it to an end user for, years down the road. And once we buy it, that's money out of our pockets, and we forget about it and we don't care. But like 95% of the people watching this show, they're actually, that money goes out of their pocket, and then they're thinking, okay, how do I get a return on that money as soon as possible? And selling to an end user is a long shot. Even if you pick up the best name on this list, the chances are that if you're going to sell it to an end user, you're going to have to hold it for multiple years, right? So, yeah. That's my piece.
It's all good. I think that's good stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking truth. I love it. Everybody's talking it today. Really, kind of giving it to the audience. Like, unlike me saying, "Hey, ETH is guaranteed to go up," or were you gonna talk about somebody else?
Yeah, I was gonna just,
All right, yeah, let's not. Let's just not. You know what I'm saying? We've done a lot today. We've talked a lot. It's a long show, and I think we're probably good to not go off on a rant. You know what I mean? Right now, where you might hurt some people's feelings. Even
what you guys think about this?
Yeah.
Look at you
with the Hearst. Look at that.
Look at that.
He printed out his NFT and then got his own physical.
He right click saved. So that's the official. Okay, did you have to burn the NFT to get the physical?
Yeah.
It's called the Legendary Lion.
Wow.
The Legendary Lion.
That's really cool, dude. So you burn the NFT, now you've got the physical. So now if you wanted to try to you'd have to sell the physical, right? That's it.
So now when Ethereum fails
what I did,
and the NFTs go to zero, you actually have something.
Yeah. When I burned it, what I was essentially in my mind, what I was doing was just burning the cash, burn the fucking cash.
Or you're just buying a piece of art.
I'm selling this physical.
Yeah, well, you're just buying a piece of art. You know what I mean? It's unique.
Yeah. I like it. It's cool.
I think it's dope, dude.
It's an interesting thing that you say there, though, right? Like it is just worth pondering on. Just like when it's digital form, it seems so easy to just sell it. Just click that sell button. And when it's in physical form, it's hanging on your wall. You're like, there's some friction to trying to sell it. There's some uncertainty around trying to sell it. There's just, and then there's like a little bit more attachment to it because it's physical. And the reality is, you're probably never going to sell the physical, right? But But that NFT is like, little buy, little sell, little buy, little sell, just in, out. It's just liquid. It's just fluid. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's good stuff, man. I like it. Where are you going to put it? Like, we're going to be able to see it live on the show, or you should.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been I'm kind of, honestly, this little NFT movement got me into art. So I've been like buying physical art as well recently.
You can't tell from his walls, but
I was going to say,
so I got to get it all hung up. They're all in my wardrobe. I got like 5 or 6 pieces framed recently, and I got.
That hearse would look nice next to that closet right there in that little space. It looks like
right there. That's the perfect size. That little space to the right of your closet is perfect.
Because it's right over your shoulder. You can see it on all your Zoom calls.
Yeah. Folks, don't mind the dead body in the closet.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, all of a sudden, a dead body falls from the side over into the middle of the thing, like bagged up.
Yeah, don't worry about that. It's just burning. Don't worry about burning.
Ooh, look at you, man.
John Lennon.
What kinds of stuff?
Wow, it's like speaking of art.
But
JT's like, yeah, look at my cartoon Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and I'm like, or what about a little ape shit post?
Oh yeah. No. I mean, it's cool, right? Because I do have like an appreciation for art that I didn't really have so much before, and I'm pretty, I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's all about making money. But
all about the Benjamins.
Speculation.
Speculation. Like it's like Drew said. Like I'm not gonna lie about it. I call it what it is. I'm trying to make money, but at the same time, through the process, I did kind of get a growing appreciation for good art versus not so good art. So
I bought probably of all the NFTs that I bought, I've only, I have bought a few that I bought because I appreciated the art or the artist, without any real thought about, but I haven't spent a lot of money on those, right? Because it's like, man, unless you've got real money to spend and just kind of on those kinds of things, it's like, it's hard to justify, especially if you can't even hang it on your wall, right? If the idea is not to ultimately want to resell it, are you just going to, and there are ways, I mean, Shane's talked about this, like getting the monitors or the TVs and, the frames basically to display your NFTs. And so I think there's a really cool aspect to that. Obviously you've got stuff like Beeples and things and copy art and there's some really cool artists who have done some really, really neat shit. I think for me, it's just based on it purely like, I just don't have the kind of money to spend thousands of dollars on art that I put on my walls or on my computer, but there are definitely a few that I bought without really much thought of whether or not it was ever going to be able to resell it. And a lot of them are going to go to zero anyway. So you better at least like it a little bit, what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but yeah, interesting stuff, man. Well, I love it, man. Now you're going to make me step my game up because I got like these things which are cool, but now I'm like, oh, you got like real shit on your walls. Now it's like, now I'm going to have to like, now I got to come up with something.
I'm working on it, man. I was really close to going for a Denza like a couple of weeks back, and when I was talking about it, Josh, my partner at DNWE, he ended up buying one.
Oh, did he?
He got the print for it and everything. So like, the thing is like I went back and forth on it so much, but like as soon as you get the print for it, God, I mean, like I said, I just like, okay, you're burning $100,000, like. That's gone. Like I'm not. Yeah. Like at that point, like, am I really gonna sell it after I've got the print on my, on my wall and everything? Like I would feel like an idiot selling the NFT and then having the print in my room. You'd be
a right-click saver at that point, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah.
All right. Well, look. All right. Cool. Well, look, guys, we covered a lot of ground today, a lot of time, but this was a lot of fun. We'll let Shane actually get back inside the building. Anybody have,
Shane?
A couple of,
nice seeing you as well.
Couple of quick things. Are you going to be all in Austin for NamesCon? Because that's what I'm about to talk about for about 30 seconds here. Shane, are you going to be there?
I won't be there. I think I'm going to Bora Bora. So,
what?
Yeah.
Oh man, those Ford stock options, they've been hitting now. You know what I'm saying? So
no, they actually didn't hit, but I'm trying to make this into like a good life. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go down and burn. Like everybody's talking about taking profit. I have a business. Like I work for a living. I've got a great business. I've got a great retirement. everything I make in NFTs, I'm making stories. That's how I look at it, man.
No,
I
hey,
want to buy
experiences are
fun
great,
things.
man. No, I think that's
I want to
awesome.
go places. I want my wife and I to live and have some great times. I put 250 grand aside for travel. Literally,
Wow, look at
I'm gonna
y'all.
travel that shit. I'm gonna see the world. We're gonna travel well. I want to climb mountains. I want to do things. NFTs changed my life. Like if it all goes to zero, I'm still gonna have some fun. So I don't say that to be pompous or anything. It's just like
No,
something
man.
great happened. I'm not letting it all go down. I'm gonna have something to show for it. I'm gonna live my best life, and I'm not gonna let it go to zero. I just took it out. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I'll grind again. It's more fun grinding when you start at a smaller number, right? I think.
Yeah, that's also
Nah, that ain't true. The rest you said was true, but that ain't true.
But I think but I think that's really cool, man.
I'm a big believer in pulling out money and grinding. I mean, to a certain extent.
Regrinding. Yeah.
To a certain extent.
I put it.
Is that how your wife got pregnant?
And yeah, they grind.
Oh man, we'll edit that out. Thanks. But but yeah, look, no, I think it's amazing to turn, look at Drew's wrist, right? That's a mutant on his wrist right now. And it's like, and that mutant's name at the moment is Rolex, you know what I mean? So it's like, because it's like we had this opportunity where, because we did get in early and, we were able to navigate some things and do some cool stuff to, enjoy that, like get a benefit from it. If the idea is, oh, hey, it was just the experience of making a bunch of money and then losing it all was the experience, like that, I don't think that's the story that I would want to have written, So we're clearly like, look, there's plenty of NFTs. I'm looking through my wallet now. I mean, but we sold a bunch of stuff and we did I continue to sell. I've been selling things off and, we went to cash and, everyone's got their plan. Everybody wants to do what they want to do, but I think it's a beautiful thing, man, setting aside real money to be able to have real life experiences that, those are real memories.
And we talked about this
you turned it into a Tesla, that you turned into a Chevy truck.
Tesla to a truck, baby. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
But I mean, it's a story that we shared the entire way. Like it wasn't rich getting richer. We shared the moment when I bought the 8 and spent $4 grand. Like they literally watched us dive into the pool. And some people told us we were going to hit a rock and break our necks. And other people got us to see us swim in the ocean. So it's not like the rich got richer and it's just a bunch of guys that already had money and made it into more. No, we dove into something that was completely different. Like we did domains, like we did alternate TLDs, like we did the same thing we always do. We went for something that was new.
Are you saying there's a pattern?
There is a pattern.
History does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And
it often rhymes.
I can't take credit for the shout out to Mark Twain on that one. I think it's, I think he's loosely credited for that, but, yeah, no, look, man. And like I said, I think it's
watching just for our curiosity. Like that's what I'm saying. We're worth watching just to watch where our curiosity takes us and to see let us guide you to the shit. And sometimes
I just, I think most people just watch
waiting y'all to the promised land.
I just wait to see. I think most people just watch just to wait and see how Drew's going to get all of our sponsors to just bounce on us. You know what I'm saying? Like what he's going to say that's finally going to be the thing that flips the switch on all that. But yeah, no, look, all good stuff and super cool. So, but real quick, I'm going to close this out and then we're going to go. But yeah, NamesCon coming up August. So get tickets. There's discount codes. We got a discount code on the show, which is M as in man, P as in Peter _DomainSherpa. I don't know why they couldn't have given us a different coupon code, but that's for 20%. But there's actually a 50% code that they've been floating around that we've talked about on Clubhouse. We talked about in Spaces. So, it's more accessible than ever. We have not been in person in 3 years. There will be a lot of folks there, even though Drew and Shane won't be there. Some of us other folks will be there. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, definitely want, and the auction just opened up. We didn't talk about this, but this is its own show into itself. But they just opened up the bidding for the right of the dot auction, which is going to be really, really good. As long as the reserves, aren't in outer space. Some of the early ones look a little bit look pretty heavy reserve wise, but
it's like, never mind. You used to say, never mind. This never mind.
No, it's good. It's good. We cool. It's like I said, I think we all know that the more realistic the reserves are, the more activity, the more fun it'll be. Names will absolutely sell, and Monty I'm sure will be doing his thing, working on the process, working on the sellers in the meantime. And, we'll definitely see some interesting stuff happening and around that. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully y'all can attend in person, take advantage of those coupon codes. Let's all get together at the end of August in Austin, Texas. Names Con 2022. Let's get it. And then in the meantime, I want to thank everybody, obviously my co-hosts for being here and spending all this time and sharing all this alpha and doing what we do. And most importantly, I want to say thank you to the audience. I say it on every show. Without you, there's no us. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hit us up, Twitter, comment on the blog, go to DomainSherpa.com. We're posting the episodes now on our YouTube page, ds.tv. Check them out there. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. It's, listen, watch, learn, and hopefully enjoy. Anyway, thank you, everybody. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Peace out.